Hello, hello, everyone. We see you all in chat. All excited to be here. It's good to have you all today. Welcome, welcome to Creating in Fortnite. Today, we're going to be talking all about the Walking Dead universe toolset. I know so many of you were excited to see the Walking Dead universe show up here and be inside of your favorite tool. So, thanks for being here today to see us go into detail about it. We've got the team here. Thanks for coming, team. Welcome. We're going to be talking about all about the tool set. We're going to be talking about the big features that came out with it. We're going to be talking about what we're going to be doing in the future, improving on the tools, and we'll be taking all of your questions. So get ready. If you have any questions for us, feel free to put it in chat with question in brackets at the top. So just question in brackets and then list out your question so we can spot it real easy there. I'll have the mods pulling it this time. Yeah, other than that, sit back, relax, and let's learn more about the Walking Dead universe tool set in UEFN and Creative. So with that, yeah, I'm going to throw it around for some introductions. I'll throw it to Aiden. Hi, Aiden.
Hi, hi. It's good to be here. I'm excited to be here. My name's Aiden McDew. I'm a senior gameplay programmer over at Epic Games. I work on the IP team. I've helped a lot with Walking Dead. I've worked with the Lego tool set. I've worked on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so all sorts of cool stuff. Been around in creative for a long time. It's great to be here. Good to answer questions. I'll be lurking in the chats as well while everyone else is talking, so I can try to respond to things a little more quickly or build some hype. The classic stuff. It's great to be here. I'm excited. I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to Skylar. So Skylar can introduce himself.
Howdy, folks. Great to be here. Skylar Lastingata, senior producer at Epic Games, was working on The Walking Dead, this project for a while now, and I'm so excited that it's out in your hands. You're going to be able to build and you're going to be able to publish those islands soon. Um, yeah, this has been an absolute passion project for me, and I've loved every step of the way. Been at Epic for I think almost 9 years now. I was also
Nice.
on creative since day one with Aiden and a couple other amazing folks. It's come a long way, and yeah, excited to see what y'all do with it. I'm gonna pass it over to Dylan.
Yeah, also very excited to be here. My name's Dylan. I am a designer and technical designer who, of course, worked on the Walking Dead toolset. Before that, I worked on the Lego tools a bit, TMNT a bit, and before that, I was on creative. So super excited to be able to show off these tools for y'all.
Oh, well, thank you so much for coming, you all. I know you're taking precious time out of your day when you're making tools to be here, so we really, really appreciate it. Yeah, and welcome, welcome all who is in chat. Thank you for putting your questions in brackets and parentheses. I appreciate that. Yeah, and I guess with that, we're gonna get started just kind of talking about the Walking Dead universe tool set and kind of the vision behind that. So excited to share that with you. Some information I don't think we've shared yet before. So super exciting. I'll throw it to Skylar, right? Skylar's gonna give us the rundown.
Yes, definitely. So yeah, just sharing a little bit of a peek behind the curtain. Nothing too a secret, but just a little insight about kind of how things get how these things kind of come together. So, the Walking Dead universe, what an amazing IP. I mean, we're absolutely blessed to be able to work with our partner, Skybound, on this. And when we found out about this, we were like, folks were just so excited. And so we knew, of course, we had to do it. Just to speak a little bit about kind of the partnership and how we work together, like we approached Skybound, almost right away when they were interested, and like, the chemistry was immediate. These folks loved Fortnite. We loved The Walking Dead. We knew we had to make something happen. And yeah, like the thing about, just speak a little about a bit about like how we work together with partners. It's really interesting because when we bring an IP into Fortnite, it's it's like trying to marry these two incredible things together, bring like the best bits of each IP together and make something awesome. And that's both a challenge, but also really rewarding when it comes out amazing as it did in this case. Yeah, Skybound is incredible. I mean, They contributed since the beginning, like to pretty much everything. When we had our first meeting with all of their creative folks, there's one word that came out, came from both of us, bubbled right up to the top. It was walkers. You think Walking Dead, immediately, you think walkers. And we knew that had to be kind of the star of the show, and that's kind of where we started. We built everything out from there. Now, a lot of folks um, kind of wonder, why do the walkers behave the way they do? Why do they only go a certain speed? Why
Yeah,
don't
what's
they
up with
have
that?
why don't they have special abilities? It's because these walkers and this version of the IP that we're working with is the Walking Dead comic IP. And that's a really important distinction because it is different from the show, which a lot of y'all are probably really used to. And that means that we wanted to, authentically realize that version of the IP. And that means, walkers are, kind of behave and act a certain way. And that was really the guiding light, alongside a bunch of the other stuff we worked on, but for walkers in particular. And that's true of pretty much all of the things we do with the IP partners is we try to realize their IP authentically, but of course make it feel really good in Fortnite as a Fortnite tool or Fortnite gameplay. And that's really what these kind of partnerships are all about, right? It's about authentically realizing the IP, but making it super fun. And that kind of blend is where the magic happens. And that's kind of how it came to be. Long story short. And yeah,
Very
and now
cool.
we're here, and now you guys have awesome kind of walkers to build with. So just a little peek behind the curtain of kind of how it starts and how it gets to where it is, and a little bit of insight into how we approach things and our philosophy. So yeah, we hope you guys are really excited about the walker. It's such a cool tool. I mean, it's been a while since we really built a NPC for UEFN that's fully kitted out of the box and kind of does all this great stuff. So, yeah, I've already seen like a lot of amazing maps being built with this, with the Walker as the star, which is exactly what we wanted. So that's incredible. And yeah, really, really cannot wait to see how these games end up and where they're at when they're published on May 16th. That's the day.
So soon, so soon. You got
Yep.
10 days, everybody. Woo! Yeah, no, we're so excited as a personal fan of the Walking Dead comics. Yeah, very, very, was so stoked to see we're doing this. And then also there's been a request from the community for a very long time to have different types of zombies in their creations. So I'm sure we saw this as an excellent opportunity to get that, get that to them, and they're loving it. We do have some questions, if we have time for a second. So they're wondering. So there's a lot of what if what if questions and when questions, and if we can't share that, we can just say, hey, we gotta we're just share your feedback. But we have questions, of course. Will walkers ever be in Fortnite creative? Is that a thing? Is that a thing we're hearing? Are we taking that feedback? Is there any other insight we have?
I was waiting
We
to see if Skylar would take this one.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the words. Um, so walkers are not currently in Fortnite creative. We prioritized making them work as well as they, as perfectly as they could. UEFN, we wanted to really make that an optimized, incredible experience. The thing about development is you have to put kind of your man hours into this or that. And, UEFN is, you know, as I'm sure you guys all know, is a place that we're a tool set we're investing a lot of time in to really make it so you can make the best games possible with UEFN, and we really wanted to prioritize that and make sure games that are built with UEFN are absolutely amazing, and we put as many hours as we could into making sure the Walker was incredible for launch, and that was kind of our thinking as to how we got to where we are now. And even at launch, I'm sure a lot of you guys noticed maybe the walker's a little funky. Maybe he walks a little funny. Like there's still a lot to do, just to show like how precious those hours are. We're continuing to kind of work on improving the walker after launch, So again, just trying to put as many hours as we could into UFN, make it as amazing as a tool as it could be. Make sure those UFN games are they're performant, they're bug free, and just bringing as much quality as we can to those. So that's
Makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
I appreciate you taking that on because I know it's a, it's a difficult question. Because we do only have so many resources and we're trying to get out so many amazing things. So it's always good to have a little bit more insight. And then, oh, we have a great question also for you, Skylar. Um, are we allowed to call the walkers zombies, or does it have to be walkers?
So I'm channeling my inner Skybound. I've worked with Skybound, for the last 7 or 8 months. And one of the things they made clear right away is like, hey, these things aren't zombies. They're walkers, and walkers are what that's what makes them special to us. That's what kind of represents their kind of unique form in our universe. And so we've tried to do our best job kind of communicating that as best we can. The brand rules is the best place to check out for kind of Skybound's um, guidance and guidelines around like referencing the material officially. And yeah, Skybound would definitely be very appreciative if you called them walkers. That is what they're called in their IP. And I think it's just a good practice for us all to try and represent the IP officially, especially if we're going to be building islands and publishing islands with that IP. So yeah, call them walkers. That's the move.
Shane earlier used the forbidden Z word is what
I'm
I would call it.
sorry, I
No,
didn't
it's okay.
know.
If you haven't seen any of those really wonderful montages from the show characters, I know we're focused on the comic books, but the show characters saying everything besides the Z word, right? Spiders, crawlers,
That's right.
so many great decaying, all these other great words. It lets you really express your creative freedoms when you actually don't use the Z word, and you could find any other kind of great alternative to really express what they are. So have some fun with it. Sometimes there's fun when there's some restrictions there. So play with it, have some fun, make it your own.
Thank you, Aiden. I appreciate it. I was trying so hard to get
And,
the universe part right. Okay.
I mean, you
um,
said creators want zombies, which is technically correct. They got something better. They got walkers.
yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I feel like especially with there was a question I had that popped up. It's okay. I lost it, but that's all right. But yeah, especially with just having more to play with. I wanted to ask also, Skylar, did you get to talk with Robert Kirkman at all? Did you get to meet him?
No, I did
Oh.
not personally, but I was I was one step away. I was talking to people who were then like turning their desk and then
Oh.
talking to Rob, so I was so close.
Oh,
Um,
darn.
but yeah, I mean, we definitely worked a lot with some of the head creative people at Skybound, and all of the creative decisions, or not all of them, but some of the really important ones were getting run up through Robert Kirkman. So, Robert Kirkman was, weighing in and helping us make this better. And that is really special to me, and, definitely was special to a lot of the other folks at Epic who are really big Walking Dead comic fans.
Yeah. I got to work with him one time because I worked on a Walking Dead game once. And he was so nice. He's such a sweet guy, and he really cares so much about his IP. Um, and I'm sorry, Robert, for saying the wrong word. Now it makes it even worse. But yeah, we've got it down now. Let's see. I don't want to ask all the questions. Lots of great questions, but I'm trying to like parse them out for what topics we're on. But I know we were talking about where we have the tools are going out. And people are able to create with them, but they aren't able to publish. We were talking about the 16th. They're wondering, can they submit the islands one day before or a week before they go live, or do you have to submit on the 16th? They're excited.
Yeah, I believe there is a basically kind of like a we call it kind of a flag that prevents you from publishing a Walking Dead island until that flag is removed, and that flag is removed on the 16th. And then you can kind of go through that process of publishing and moderation and all of that and get yourself ready. Um, Definitely, my recommendation would be to before publishing and as you're prepping, because everyone, a lot of folks are really excited, want to get their island out on day one. Read the brand rules, read through the IP agreement, give your island one last look, make sure everything is prepped and you feel ready to go for moderation, so you can nail it on that first time and get the island out there. May 16th is the day. to
Okay.
uh to get into it.
It is the day from the prophecy.
Where
We've
walkers will
Yeah.
will rise.
Yes.
Yes.
And then last question that's kind of like just high level for the tools. Will there be a The Walking Dead universe row in Discover on day one? Do they know? Or a
Um,
tab or
yes. Um, there will be a Walking Dead game collection page, which is similar to how we represented TMNT in the ecosystem. And the configuration of that page is totally subject to change as we're always kind of learning and adapting and improving upon how we feature content in Discover. But yeah, expect something similar to TMNT. And I believe if we haven't already, there should be some additional clarity being posted soon to social and whatnot. And that'll give you a bit more, a few more specifics on what to expect. But it's generally that you should expect something to how TMNT was presented.
that will be great. That will be great. Thank you. And then I did have a question that maybe I think this has to do with the brand, probably Skylar, but correct me if I'm wrong. Someone was asking why isn't there a boss walker or boss creature for this? And I assume because in this world they're people, like the walkers are just your normal everyday people that are now undead, I assume.
You know, you know what's funny is that when I heard we were gonna work on The Walking Dead, that was the first thing I thought of. This was before I talked to Skybound, before I knew really like their rules and guidelines, even before they told us. I was like, oh, we're gonna have all these special walkers. They're gonna all these special things, and I'm gonna make this crazy kind of game mode. And then yeah, they told us like, hey, walkers are kind of mundane. They're kind of meant to represent the everyday people that, you and I are, but just in the form of an undead husk. Um, and yeah, that's important to them, and that's an important distinction that they hold true on. And so yeah, no special walkers. Um, but what you can do is use modifiers and kind of use the UEFN tools to make them different and kind of interesting in their own ways. So there are ways to kind of use the tools to achieve something similar to that. And of course, as UEFN tools expands, maybe they could do even more. But we'll see how that all happens.
Definitely.
We shall.
You can mix and match all these tools with the standard UEFN tool set. So you can make your own custom NPCs. I've been playing some games to Discover that have some pretty interesting bad guys chasing me around. I won't say any specific ones, but they're pretty terrifying what you can make. So, always feel free to subsidize what you're creating in this tool set with anything that you can make, without the tool set too. It's a very expansive, inclusive tool set for Walking Dead. So have fun, go wild. Don't feel restricted. Express what you want.
Nice,
Honestly,
nice.
even just like increasing the speed of the walkers makes them so terrifying. So you should try that out if you have not. It is a lot of fun.
We did have a question about that. Can we change their speed? So that answers that. Indeed, you can.
Dylan or Aiden, you want to tell them about modifiers?
Yeah, so you can absolutely change their speed. I think we're going to talk about walkers in a bit, so we can dive deep into the modifiers. But the way you spawn walkers into an island right now is through the NPC spawner device. If you're not familiar with that device, you basically create your NPC definition, which is what type of character or NPC is going to spawn. And then you also have the option of a bunch of optional modifiers that can change, how it behaves, how it acts, some gameplay stuff. And one of those modifiers is a speed modifier. So if you add that to your character definition, you can then control how fast they move. in your experience.
Awesome. We'll dig more into that. And then yeah, I guess let's get the show on the road. We'll take a pause for a second on questions. Thank you all for your great questions. We got so many. Again, if you have any questions as we go, type question at the start of them and we'll be gathering them. If I haven't asked your question just yet, it's just because I'm waiting for the time that makes most sense. That has to do with the topic we're talking on. So with that, who's taking it away this time?
I think we're gonna show Dylan's mini test project he set up.
Ooh,
Yeah. I just have it running in the background here, but we can
very
show my
cool.
screen. And since we're already talking about modifiers and how you spawn them, I'll show you what that looks like. So you can see here in my island, I have a couple NPC spawner devices. Each of these has a character definition file, which is something you're going to create for your project. It looks like this. It's pretty simple. At the top is where you're choosing what type of character. So if you are creating a Walking Dead universe island, you will see the walker options here. We have two. We have the basic cosmetic, and then we also have the prisoner uniform. If you don't see these, it's probably because you're not in a Walking Dead island. So make sure you click that box when you create your island. And then underneath that are the character modifiers. So you'll see by default, it shows up with a health modifier. This is where you can change how much health the walkers spawn with. There is also a walker gameplay modifier, which is specific to the walkers. This is one we made. If you want to tweak how the walkers behave, this is where you'll find the settings. And I think some of these settings are new. I don't know if some of these are live yet. For example, prisoner uniform color is a new one we added because we had lots of requests for that. I'll show that in game in a second. But this is where you would go in and change how you want your walkers to behave if you want to change that. So for example, I can add a new one and I can find the movement modifier. And this is where I can then change how fast they walk. The defaults that come in here are pretty fast for a walker, so you probably want to start slowing it down a bit, but you can go as high as you want. Try to make sure it looks good. Don't go crazy. But because we're a tool set, we kind of leave that up to your discretion, how fast you want them to go. And then the last thing is also you can tweak them individually on the devices. So if you set up your character definition once, you can then per device stomp or modify just specifically the NPCs coming out of that device by adding them here. And if I jump over into game here, I assume everyone has seen the walkers already, but just in case you haven't,
Yes, show us.
we got a bunch spawning in and running around here.
And this is the prison starter template which we built, which is a great way to start a Walking Dead island, as you got a kind of Walking Dead world built for you here. Look at these guys.
Yeah, and you can see here I have the gameplay overrides for the jumpsuits. So you can do blue jumpsuits now, orange, red.
Ooh.
Kind of fun. We had a lot of people talking about building team-based games around the walkers. So we thought this would be a pretty fun option to add. I was joking with the team, you can now make like the Walking Dead universe Pikmin if you want. Sure, someone will make that.
Yeah, how are your islands going, everyone? If who's been dabbling with the Walking Dead universe toolset, has there been any how are you feeling? Is it fun? Have you made something that you're really excited to publish? How's it all going? Oh,
As
this looks great.
as the answers roll in, I'll just speak a little bit about the design philosophy of the walkers here as we're watching them on screen. Um, the walkers are meant to be slow, but deadly in numbers. A lot of you probably kind of played around and you're like, I can just run past these guys. As soon as you are inside in a tight corridor and they are on both sides of you, they feel very, very scary. So, some of the some of what we were trying to kind of teach in the level design template, which you can also check out, which gives some great tips on how to work with walkers, is to use them in small spaces, use them in interiors, have them flank, have them bust out from around a corner or behind a barricade. And in these ways, you can make walkers really threatening and interesting and exciting. So just a couple tips there. And I know a lot of creators who have already kind of started to share their stuff online have done exactly that. Or you could make them more threatening by increasing their speed, in which case they are very, very dangerous. But yeah, super cool looking looking enemies here.
What
Yeah,
speed is this?
this is default, so this is
Okay.
what they'll behave like
Oh
by
gosh.
default when you drop them in. So
They just meander faster, or do they start like jogging? I haven't seen the fast
They
ones
they
yet.
hustle. I would say they
Oh, they
hustle.
hustle. Good word.
Hustle.
Good word, Aid. Coming in with the best words today. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Dylan.
no, you're good. Yes, there's a lot of other kind of fun, subtle. You might not notice it at first, but subtle stuff we did for the walkers to make sure that they felt, truly authentic. One of the big ones is walkers have to be killed by headshots, at least in the lore. Headshots are super effective, but body shots are not. So we replicated that with ours, of course. So if you're shooting them in the body, it's going to do pretty minimal damage. It's going to take you a while. But they take outsized damage from headshots, which is super cool. So you're really going to want to take the time to aim. You can turn that off. We did provide that as an option in the gameplay modifier. I think it's a fantastic mechanic and it feels really good to have it on. Some of the reasons you might want to turn it off is, say you're building a top-down game with like our third-person camera controls. There, it might not make sense to require you to do headshots. So we wanted to make sure you had the option to turn that off if you didn't want it. But I think as a gameplay mechanic, it works really well and it's a ton of fun.
Dylan, do you
Cool.
want to get hit by some of these guys? Show off some of the attacks.
Sacrifice
Yeah.
yourself.
Oh, and I immediately got bit too. So I guess we'll talk about getting bit. If you get bit by a walker, you are going to, that's the end, right? There's no coming back from that. So again, to be authentic to that IP, we replicated that.
That's
So
cool.
when you get bit, you are going to take damage and eventually you are going to be eliminated. There's no way to cure it. You can use health items to top up your health, but it will not get rid of that infection status. So eventually you will be eliminated.
Man, the pressure.
And as a creator, you can balance this in really interesting ways, right? You could buff healing items, you could increase players' max health, right? So you really have a lot of control about like how long you survive when you're bitten. But it is really fun because like when we were playtesting internally, everyone's like, these walkers aren't a problem. I don't got to worry. And they get bit and they're like, oh no.
As soon as you slip up,
That's
it
it.
just takes one mistake.
Dang. Like real life. Like
Yeah.
this is really real.
And again, that behavior is tunable in the modifier. So if you really don't want to have your walkers biting, you can turn off biting. If you need to for your experience, you can also tweak the damage it does over time. So you can tune that for your specific needs. Same with the basic attack, you can tune the damage there as well.
One of the things I love about the walkers, I just want to say, is that they look so good in groups. You know, our older Fortnite zombies, I forget the proper term for them. They're kind of loud and they're very big, so they don't look great in like large numbers. So a little dev diary moment for you. I think the max is 80 or 90 we allow, but we actually only let 50 be visible to you. So there was a period of development where we would be trying to maximize the number of zombies, but 40 of them would be invisible assassin walkers that you could not see or perceive, but they would still deal damage to you and block you, which was just a really fun thing to try to, oh, is my thing scary enough? Okay, invisible walkers, it's scary. So I'm glad we've since fixed that, but that was a very fun thing to kind of discover and work through while we were developing everything. And now we have that matched across all of FNE, so you can have 90 NPCs or AI, I can't remember the correct term we use here, on the server, and those will also be visually replicated to the clients as well, which is great.
Someone brought up, I assume you can't, but they said, imagine if you could have both walkers and Fortnite zombies. And is that possible?
Yes, you can totally do that. Yeah, and Skylar just helped correct me. It's husks.
Oh, they're
So
husks.
they're
Yes.
husks.
Okay.
I think you can call ours zombies though. I don't know if we get upset about that, or I'll get really in trouble for saying that. So I guess we'll find out.
No, you're fine, I'm sure. I do. It is. Yeah, that's right. I've seen husks before. I've seen them up close, like images of them, and it said husk, and I was like, that's cool. And then I've played against them and thought they were some, so I'm bad too. Don't worry. Um, let's see. We've got a lot of great questions coming in about the walkers here. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. One of them being, can you play as a walker once bit? I assume not, but could you make it happen? Could you, is there a way to verse script that yet?
It'd be very tough. I won't say it's impossible, but it would be really hard.
It'd be
Interesting.
difficult. Our creators they're smart. They've found ways to make you play as people other than your character. So I know it can be done, but it's not the easiest thing in the world.
Very cool. Let's see. We're gonna talk about more tools later. Ooh, will walkers ever get added to character device? Would be cool to do custom animations. Is that something we're taking feedback on, or is that a thing that wouldn't be possible?
I think
I don't know what the
maybe that's
IP is.
one we yeah
Yeah.
we save for the future. It's an interesting idea. I'll say that.
Ooh,
Um,
yeah.
I do have a fun kind of dev diary story here.
Oh yeah.
So, uh, first of all, just a flex of something I'm really proud of. We built for the walkers. We built this whole kind of system that allows them to spawn with different parts, which are essentially different clothing types. And
Ooh.
then there's kind of randomizers, and you can kind of control what clothing it spawns with, which is a really cool feature. I'm not sure if you've ever done that before for an NPC, so it gives you a lot of control and variety to with the walkers, which allows them to look really awesome in a horde. But a fun dev diary moment is at one point in the project, the system that was switching the different clothing back and forth stopped working, and pretty much everything besides the head was
Mm-hmm.
referenced by the system. And so there was a point in development which lasted quite a while, where it was just armies of floating heads that would come at you, just just coming at you. And it made playtest really fun, and I think they were the most dangerous they've ever been at that time in the project.
Oh my gosh.
That's a really fun story for everyone except me because I was the one who constantly was asked when it was going to be fixed.
Oh,
So
It
it
was a
was
tough
pretty
issue,
fun
but
just having the heads chasing you, though. That's true.
oh
Dylan pulled
my.
through.
That's hard mode, right? You
Yeah.
only focus on the heads. Oh, let's see.
Some
Ooh.
other fun stuff as
Oh
you're
yeah.
looking for a question.
Mm-hmm.
Again, to try to make them feel really dangerous in a horde, some more subtle things we added are when they attack you, when they swipe at you, we actually apply what I call a MAME effect. So it slows you down a bit. So it makes
Mm,
it harder to escape that horde. They kind of use it to lock you in place. So if you're getting hit by a couple at a time, it becomes really hard to escape the horde.
wow.
They also do a stamina burn. So as they're hitting you, they burn your stamina, which makes it harder for you to just sprint away. And that'll also affect your ability to use the weapons a bit. So
Whew.
yeah, just another little subtle thing. Trying to make, again, because
Yes.
the walkers on their own, a single walker is not scary, but trying to think of anything we could do to make it so that if you get surrounded by a horde, it's pretty terrifying.
Oof, yeah, definitely. I mean, like it would be when you first mentioned, how scary it is when there's multiple and there's a whole group of them. I was just thinking about if how it would be in real life if you were just surrounded by a bunch of people that were walkers. Like the more there is, the more trapped you would feel, even if they're slow. Yeah, I mean that's just
Mhm.
the impending doom is really great.
The thing
Is
is, in real life, you wouldn't be bouncing off walls and like sprint
fair.
slide jumping over their heads like you can in Fortnite.
Fair, fair. Someone's asking, is there a way to cleanse the player who is bitten so they're no longer, or so, yeah. And I think we answered that. We said that it isn't possible. It just keeps gnawing away at you. No pun
Yep.
intended. And then,
Dylan, I believe we added a setting where if you
did you?
add down but not out, You
Ooh.
can enable it so when you go down, it's cleansed. So when you're revived, you get back up and there's no more damage for time effect. So if you do want to add
Yeah.
Oh,
DBNO to your game, there is
cool.
kind of that kind of second life moment you can have, which is cool.
Oh, that's so great to know. Thank you for adding that. Uh,
And yeah, if you do want to just turn off biting in your island, the bitten damage, if you just set this to 0, they won't bite. So you can turn it
oh,
off if you need to.
oh, fun. Someone's asking if you can change the size of the walkers. Can there be smaller walkers? That would be more realistic, but I assume it's like a balance. Is it a balancing just to have everyone around the same size for to aim? I don't know.
I think it was more of
Oh,
a
like subtle variation?
Yeah, like subtle
Hmm.
height differences.
can you verse that?
Can you verse that? No.
Mm.
Aw.
It's
They
not a
just
bad
don't have
idea. I'll say
knees.
that though.
Oh.
Didn't want to
Yeah,
call
because
it.
we do the part randomization and the gender randomization.
Ah,
We
okay.
do a bit of randomization on the speed and the animation.
Mm.
So definitely like, yeah, not a bad idea.
Someone's like, walkers the size of titans would be absolutely terrifying. I agree.
Agreed.
I agreed.
Before we move off the biting, super quick, if you want to be really lore accurate, I'd love to see a game around this. In the Walking Dead universe, if you die at all, you become a walker. You don't have to have been bitten. The virus is always active. Sorry,
Right.
minor. I
Oh.
should have said spoilers first if you haven't done a little bit. Sorry, but it's really cool. It's a really neat mechanic you could use to, if you die in any way, you kind of go to the other side, or you could join the evil forces. It'd be interesting to see that expressed.
Y'all hear that? Oh, Aiden dropping these sweet ideas. Thank you. Yeah, no, that would be super fun. What a way to change it up. It would be even cooler if you didn't expect it, like in the show. Like for people who hadn't played or seen it before, that'd be crazy. Wait, no, I'm a walker. What? Okay, we've got so many good questions. As a side note, I do see you all asking about the Discover tab. I see you guys asking about moderation and things like that. We have Let's Chat streams where you can ask those kinds of questions. I know they did get asked those questions. We work on like the tools and stuff, and I work in the community stuff, so I don't really have insight into what the plans are there. I did ping someone on the side to say, "Hey, is there anything we could say like about this?" And they wanted me to just reinforce that we are testing those things. The IP tabs and stuff are newer, right? We've only had a couple of them. So we will be testing out different things happening with those tabs and sections for the different IP islands to see what works best. And then, of course, the age old like players are playing certain things and driving the numbers up, and then those things kind of do get placement. So it is something that they're definitely aware of and they're balancing. But there, if you want more information on that, we did a moderation chat. Was it a week? It was like 2 or 3 weeks ago now. But definitely check it out. Sax and Dan Walsh were there, and there was some insight into that. But we do hear the feedback on that, and just keep sharing your feedback on those and how you feel when we launch those. But yeah, not trying to ignore you, just trying to stay on topic of the tools because this is the team that handles the tools, and we don't handle Discover. So, but yeah, let's see.
Shane, I'm gonna
There's
steal your job for a second, Shane.
oh,
I'm
do
gonna
it,
I'm gonna
Aiden.
take a
Take
question
it,
from chat. I know, I'm so
please.
sorry. Sorry, not sorry. We got a great question, kind of related to moderation, about age rating. So the question was, what will be the age rating for Walking Dead Universe Islands? Can they pass beyond the age 16 age rating and have blood or gore? So I was gonna pass it over to Skylar to give an answer on that.
Yeah, so this is a really great question because for fans of The Walking Dead, you probably know that pretty much everything that is Walking Dead related out there in the entertainment sphere is kind of rated M or rated R. But something really important to us was to make sure that, when we brought this into Fortnite, it was in compliance with our ratings, which is a teen rating and to still make it really cool, even though it is teen. So all of the content we built, so all the tools we provided, and when you're building a Walking Dead island, all the stuff there, it's all for a teen audience. So if you are just kind of including those tools, you go ahead and you publish your island. You got nothing to worry about. It will, at least including the content we provided you, none of that will kind of push it over the line. However, if you go and kind of make your own blood or make your own gore and you bring that in yourself and kind of add on top of the tools we provided, yeah, you'll still be subject to kind of all the moderation guidelines and rules. So just something to think about, like as you're building your Walking Dead islands. Make sure you're reading the moderation guidelines and all of that, especially if you want to make sure that the content remains teen for your game. But nothing to fear if you're just using our content, you're gonna be good to go.
Cool. Thank you for adding that in. That's all great context. Let's see. I'm making sure there's a lot of questions that are kind of repeat, so I'm just skimming through to see. We're going to talk about tools in the future. Oh, interesting. So someone did ask, this is kind of an interesting one, and I'm not sure on the technical side of it. If I made my um game modes and atmospheres in creative, will I be able to just implement walkers once I upgrade to UEFN? So if they were to switch it over to UEFN. Aiden says yes.
Yes. So if I'm understanding the question correctly, you're saying you made a Walking Dead universe island in Fortnite Creative, on your phone, console, whatever system you used, or PC, and then you wanted to go ahead and add walkers. You can use, I believe the system is enabled. Skylar can double check me. You can actually convert your Fortnite Creative islands into UEFN islands by just going to the UEFN. Booting it up, and then there'll be a little drop down where you can actually show your Fortnite Creative Islands, and you can import those as UEFN islands. That is a tool you can use for anything. It doesn't have to be specific to Walking Dead universe or any other tools, but you can do that if you want to upgrade your island from FNC to UEFN at any time. So it's super valuable. I do a lot of my level design in Fortnite Creative because I just find it really fun, and I use triggers and receivers, and then I'll update it into UEFN when I'm ready to start writing some verse code. So I love that workflow, and I think it's a really great way to get started on stuff.
Awesome. Thank you, Aiden. Thank you for the personal anecdote too. Helpful to know. Let's see. Will there be any? I think we're going to talk a little bit about this, but will there be any Epic made or Skybound sponsored The Walking Dead Universe Islands released, like TMNT's Roguelike or Epic's Fall Guys Islands?
Possibly. I mean, it's entirely possible. Whenever we do some of these these IPs, sorry, whenever we kind of launch a new IP in the ecosystem, it's always on our mind, like, should we do a showcase kind of island? And so, yeah, like, I think we always have that in consideration when going into these things. But I can neither confirm nor deny. So I guess you'll just have to wait and see on May 16th.
Ooh.
And you'll probably notice if there is one. We try to make it obvious. Check out our, like, Fortnite social channels and all of that, for following all of our kind of news on cool stuff that Epic's releasing, cool islands that we're working on. But again, can neither confirm nor deny. So we'll see.
Thank you, Skylar. Thank you for the pointing to our social channels too. Taking my job. No, just kidding. Please, check out our social channels if you aren't. And we do have an Instagram and a TikTok. Just so y'all know, I do see the surveys where y'all are like, "There is one." Yeah, just I think it's FN Create. So we're there. We're there. Someone is asking. TMNT uses the oak style post process effect. Granted, you can create whatever you want, but was the Walking Dead universe meant to have the same oak style vision? Mm.
I I believe this question is about kind of the post-processing effect we built um, for Walking Dead, which I believe is titled the heavy line work post-processing effect. So it is not the same post-processing effect. There are a few distinct differences. Yes, they both rely and emphasize kind of black and white hues, different mixtures of kind of shading and all of that. But no, they are a bit different. The intention behind the Walking Dead post-processing effect was to do something that was inspired by the comics, so not a direct recreation, but getting as close as we can with the tools that Fortnite provides. So if you want to make an awesome Walking Dead themed island and you kind of want to really, uh, you know, make that island feel like it's in the Walking Dead comic world, then you have an easy way to do that. So definitely check it out if you're interested in that. Any fans of the comics, I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun with that.
Yes, definitely. And we have another kind of graphics question. Is the water actually wet or is it just a noise shader over the road? Ooh.
Oh, in yeah, it's not actually wet. It's shader magic. Beautiful
Really?
wet concrete shader magic.
Ooh, look at that. So nice. Yeah, definitely. Oh, beautiful reflections too. Looks awesome.
Mhm.
Let's see. Can you use the template islands and make a unique game mode in them to publish? Yes. Yes, definitely. You can mix and match. You can pull up different templates and drag and drop different things into the island that you're making, as far as I know. And yeah, but if we want to add any more to that, I know Aiden was talking
I'd
a lot
love,
about
yeah, I'd love to add a little bit to
that.
that. So, I actually had Dylan build one of the first templates we built for the Lego tool set a while back, and I will say that we've actually been playing with what we want to have a template be, and we've been refining that with each of our IP releases. You know, what is best for creators, what do the players most enjoy, all those kinds of different things. And actually, as Dylan was just showing off with the prison starter, we left it devoid of any gameplay so that you could build on top of it whatever you wanted to. So you don't have to go through and delete any devices or undo any behavior. It's ready to go to create a unique gameplay experience. And then the second template we made for Walking Dead universe is specifically just a gameplay template. It actually doesn't have any like really heavily composed gameplay loop, so that you can build it yourself, or you can take the parts and move them. You can copy paste them. That's totally fine with us, and build whatever you want. So we actually took an approach on this one that was different than our previous templates, where we wanted to make them, I don't know if smaller is the right word, but easier to build on top of, or easier to pick apart, and not make it so you're fighting against memory adding things or moving things around. And we'll continue to refine that approach as we build any kind of new stuff. So share in Discord what you guys like as part of your templates, what you could think is working, what kind of stuff you're building on top of them. Please start with those. They're really great starting points. We have lots of really valuable templates to start from to learn things. So definitely check those out and keep posting questions.
Yes, yes, please do. Someone's asking if it's okay to use marketplace or fab assets in our islands. Yeah, definitely. That's what Fab's for. Go check it out. They've got tags for UEFN and things like that, so it'll be optimized to use there. And you can always play around, of course, with the other assets you get in different places. Import them into UEFN. I know a lot of people work in UE and then import into UEFN, so definitely. Um, we've got some more technical questions about, I assume, I don't know if we have much to share, but we have questions about post process. Do we know about that, Skylar? Post processing, I don't know if it's an issue. Yeah, a bug. Sounds like a bug. We got a few questions about that. I don't know if that's specific to The Walking Dead or.
Uh, there, I know for a fact that there are a few minor known issues with the post-processing effect.
Okay.
So I know in certain circumstances there can be some issues that we are aware of. Unfortunately, none of us are super well versed in art and the intricacies of the post-processing stuff. So I'm not sure how much we could really get into it, but I could definitely say. Um, I can say two things. One, post-processing effects are tricky and they need to be kind of compatible with everything. So there's a lot of edge cases. So yeah, we have our, we are aware of a couple edge cases where there are issues. So that's definitely known. But yeah, keep sharing stuff. Keep sharing, keep reporting those issues. It is really useful for us to know and kind of see kind of how it's working in your map.
Yes, if you have any, if you're noticing any issues or any bugs, especially in this time of the tools being out there for you to play around with, and publishing hasn't quite started yet, definitely share in our bugs and issues section on the forums. I'll grab a link here to the forums, and then yeah, please do share if you have feedback, if there are things that you want, if there's things you wish that they could do. I saw a question here about the husks on Fortnite, and if we would be changing anything on them or developing them over time. Honestly, a lot of it is driven by feedback. Sometimes there are things that hold us back where we can't add or create certain things, whether that's an IP thing or some so on and so forth. But yeah, when it comes to things that you want, please do share, because a lot of the teams we have on here, they just want to know what you want so that we can make cool tools for you to be able to make what you want to make. So even if it's not exactly what people are asking for, we try our best to get as close as possible. If there's anything holding that back, but please do share. We've got feedback forums. We also have issues and bugs, so please use those. Those go straight into our system. Our devs are on the forums. We do have a feedback section on the Discord. But please note, that's something that we kind of like skim through and we see, but that stuff isn't being uploaded directly because it doesn't have the whole form like the forums do. So we try to direct everyone to the forums. That's like the best place to go. But yeah, we've got another question about light baking. This one I don't know if we have a lot of insight on, but I saw it a couple times. Can you add the function of being able to make light baking so that the maps are the same lighting in any graphic configuration? I assume that would be a whole new that's a great feedback point, but I assume it's not specific to these tools. So um
Yeah, I mean, our art lead would love to know exactly what you want out of these post-processing effects and kind of how to make them better, but we're not super well equipped to answer that here. So just like Shane said, throw that into a feedback post, and it's easy for us to kind of grab those links and then share them around our team. So definitely the right way to share that.
we had a question about, do you have content planned for the IP, The Walking Dead Universe Islands? We publishing happens on the 16th. We cannot share a whole lot. We'll see what happens on the 16th. But as far as content, like, we do usually have our whole announce and further information, and we've got the templates and things and stuff that we've done in the past. So just keep an eye out. You never know. But yeah, if there's things that you want, please let us know. If there are templates that you want, I know the template team is always looking for more information on what people really want to create. So again, please share in the forums. I know we're asking you to do that, but if you get it in the forums, then it goes straight directly to us in our system. So it is phenomenal. Um, one last question before we move on: how many walkers can fit in a phone booth? It's a very serious question. So don't mess it
Uh,
up.
the very serious answer is there is no nav mesh inside of phone booths, so the answer is zero, I believe. Can you guys confirm that? They can't,
Darn.
right?
I think that's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Shattered. I'm shattered, Skylar. Thank you. Okay, cool. What else were we going to chat about? Let's see.
We've got some cool improvements
Oh
we have
yeah.
been working on over the last couple of weeks
Ooh.
on the walkers. We wanted to kind of share here a little sneak peek into what you all should expect in the I believe it's the 3510 update, which is releasing on May sometime very close to before the islands go live.
Ooh. Skylar, you're treating us. We never get this. Thank you.
Yes.
We
Yep.
never get surprises over here on the stream. This is like, I hope you all know how special we are right now. We get we get a little sneak peek.
Yes. So
Ah.
first we're gonna I'll quickly set up the kind of context here. So The Walking Dead universe tools launched, and immediately like tons of passionate creators were giving us all this great feedback about how to improve, which is something like we sought out, but also you guys kind of proactively provided for us, which is amazing. It's exactly what we want to do here. Stay connected, get your feedback and improve, especially after these kind of initial launches. So one of the feedback points was, and I'm sure folks that have already used the tool have noticed this. If you speed up a walker, their legs do like they move really fast and their stride is super
Yes.
short. And it looks a little bit silly. And so we wanted to make some improvements to how walkers looked when they're sped up, because I know folks are kind of interested in that. So
Ooh,
we're going
yeah.
to show, I believe, what the walker speed looks like at 2.0 and 3.0, just to give an example of how they're looking. I'll
The
wait for the
drama.
video to come up here. Yeah, so just this is like our test level as we were editing it. Sorry, this one it's a little. No, there
Look
we
at him
go.
walking with his head.
Yeah, so the main thing we did here is we wanted to keep the same animation of them kind of shambling,
Yeah.
but we increased the stride length, or actually the stride length dynamically increases with the speed. So even if you speed them up, it doesn't look like they have these silly little jittery legs. And
Yeah.
also it also doesn't immediately kind of force them to start sliding. So, for folks that have noticed the little jittery legs or the sliding, this should be an improvement for if you want to increase the speed, which is,
Nice.
probably one of the things creators are going to do most. So we think this is going to be a great change for folks building. And I
Thank you
believe we
for
also
sharing.
had at an even higher speed. Is that right,
multiple
Dan?
months.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
in terms
Turn
of
them up.
so in terms of
9,000.
Yep, there they are. Yep. Again, we wanted to reuse the
Woo,
same animation, right?
woo.
So it's not exactly perfect, but it definitely makes a difference when you're seeing them in game and when you're seeing them as a horde. And they look just a little less janky, which is one of our priorities after we ship tools, is to kind of reduce and remove as much jank as possible and just put those finishing touches on and add all that polish.
People love it. They're saying faster zombies are scary. This is awesome. Scary and creepy, very smooth. That's sick. Someone said, "Oh nah, they got athletic walkers now. Got they're not skipping leg day. They got them calves."
Yeah, these guys have been training all season, um, and they're about to be unleashed.
They want
And
to
we've
know
got.
if they can run on four legs. Which, look, guys, calm down. This is the
I will
Walker
say, at
universe.
one point, we had this crazy idea where like, oh, they're gonna also be able to crawl, and then there's gonna be some transition to crawling,
Ooh,
and that was an insane amount of work. So maybe one day, but
yeah.
for now, it's the two legs, the shambling as they're kind of best known for.
And just to correct me if I'm wrong, but this is in the editor right now. It's just that we've made improvements on the animation as of late, so they can still up the speed, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, because
But you
some
you
people are
you
surprised.
you will you can up the speed with modifiers, which is what Dylan showed before. But you will notice like they will start sliding, or there will be the previous version of this animation playing. So this will be
Cool.
released in an upcoming update.
Yay! So yeah, y'all, if yeah, the speed you can control if you weren't aware. You just got to do that with the modifiers. And if you're looking for more insight on that, we talked about it a bit earlier. So check out the VOD when we're done too. So that'll be really helpful. Cool. Well, thank you for showing us this,
There's
Skylar.
there's another
Oh,
one.
there's
We
another
got
one, guys.
two sneak
Oh
peeks today.
gosh.
Yeah, this is a really fun one.
So spoiled.
And we had a lot of fun with this. So one of the just straight up things that was missing at launch, which we knew was missing. Again, limited resources, trying to put them in all the right places, but we knew we wanted to keep developing and improving after launch. So one of the things that was missing is a falling animation. So when the walkers are in the air, they're kind of, it almost looks like they're stiff and kind of standing still in the air, and we wanted to do something a little bit more immersive and fun. And the reason that this kind of came to our attention is because our playtesters were like, you know what I want to do? I want to run over walkers with cars. And and
Me too.
this is something that you guys will probably also build into your games. So now there's a funny and fun animation that plays if you want to play that video.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah, so now they're now
beautiful.
they're like doing backflips and flailing, which is super fun. Sometimes like we're using existing Fortnite logic here, which sometimes causes them to fly very far up in the air based on the velocity,
Mm.
which is something we didn't really want to touch because it's kind of baked into the larger Fortnite kind of systems. But if you hit them just right, you'll get this amazing animation where they kind of fly up in the air, and that should be a lot of fun.
What kind of damage are they taking when they get hit? Because I know you said it's head damage is the one that really gets them. So does it do much?
I believe for the vehicles, I can't say 100%, but it goes back to basic. There's some things like melee attacks or explosives where we ignore the headshot model because we just want to apply consistent damage. I believe it's
Fun.
doing that, but I might be wrong.
Someone said literally the first thing I played with. Oh, they
One
love
more,
it.
one more. Sorry, I muted myself. One more
Oh,
tip.
you're Mhm.
I believe if the walker's health is too low, you will just eliminate them after
Mm.
driving over them. So if you want this in your game, you might want to consider increasing their health slightly and just kind of fine tune that so you don't just. I mean, if you want to, you can run them over, and that could be your way of eliminating them. But just a little bit of a tip, as we noticed, it was easy to eliminate them with vehicles with their default health.
Someone said Grand Theft Dead. Oh, giving your ideas out in there. They love how floppy they are. Do donuts. This is a video, but otherwise we would silent. We would.
I
Yeah,
got
this is
I
so
said a
cool.
question here about ragdoll on this. Can you
Yes.
speak to ragdoll at all, Skylar or Dylan? Are you able to?
Um, is there a context for that question? Or
No,
just
it's just
ragdoll? Speak
they're
about
seeing this and
ragdoll.
it's making them think about ragdolling. So,
Actually,
So something
go
really
ahead. Go ahead.
fun, which we've never done with our NPCs before, is the walkers ragdoll when you eliminate them. It's very short and again quite subtle because they also dissolve right away when you eliminate them. But if you watch closely, they will take into account where they got hit from and also kind of the damage magnitude, and they'll ragdoll to the floor before dissolving, which is really exciting. That was a big add, I think, for me personally. I was very excited to see that added.
Yeah,
Me
yeah.
too.
I think it's
It's
one of the
great.
first times we've done Ragdoll, which was a lot of fun, by the way. At first they were like just all falling in like the same way because we had
Mhm.
like a death animation attached to them that was singular. And then we were like, oh, do we have to make like 3 or 4 different death animations and cycle between them or randomize them to make them feel realistic? And we're like, let's try Ragdoll. That could be fun. And it's definitely fun. It is super, super fun to kind of get that dynamic animation. And we're really happy with how it turned out.
I know we can't say too much on this because we'll just defer to the island creator rules. But I know we talked about ratings earlier, Skylar, and someone was saying that they tried to add blood to the Walking Dead Universe Island, but got a moderation error, and they have to delete it. But they're saying, is there any way you can add blood because zombie creators want it, Walker creators want it? I think it's great feedback, but yeah, do we have any insight into that, Skylar, for
Uh,
that kind of question?
no, I mean, as I said, we kind of built these tools to fit within the Fortnite teen rating. So at launch, when islands are out there, they're just going to be kind of the no blood, no gore, or if kind of teen versions. And yeah, that's what you should expect for the time being.
there's a very legendary game design story about the game Mortal Kombat wanting to ship on a Nintendo platform back in the old days.
Oh boy, yeah.
The game was originally rated M and had a lot of blood, but when they wanted to release it on a platform with a lower age rating, they changed the blood to green and called it Sweat. I won't speak whether that will get you past any moderation for our platform, but it is a legendary story and should
Yes.
inspire you to play with your mechanics. And if you want to make everything more age appropriate, you could find other kind of ways like that to make it fit better.
That is
I,
definitely smart. You see that a lot in movies and stuff too, where they'll change the color of things and stuff so it doesn't feel like that, or even the name. Yeah.
I actually have a fun story related to Ragdoll,
Ooh.
related to ratings. So you'll notice that they dissolve almost instantly upon getting eliminated. And this is, at first we were like, they were just kind of flying around and flopping on the ground and piles of bodies piled up. Something, we learned when working with the ratings groups is bodies on the floor is not teen. And so and you probably noticed this in Fortnite too, like, oh, you dissolve right as you're eliminated. And this is all to say that like there are certain things that we build into our tools to kind of respect ratings and just try to make them as cool as possible at the same time. So as you see that dissolve, now we did that to make it all work for all work for teen. Um,
Oh.
and that's just the thing game developers do to make sure we can get awesome content to you on time.
Yes, thank you all so much for that. And sorry if people are hearing my fire alarm. I've been blessed with fire alarms all day today in my building. So if you guys catch it, I'm sorry. I've been trying my best to hide it, but I saw it stuck on there. Um, let's see. What else do we have? Anything else? Okay, cool. I think there was one other question. I assume it's kind of it makes sense that it is the way it is, but someone was asking, will brand islands eventually be able to hold multiple brands like TMNT and the Walking Dead universe together using both tool sets? But I assume there's a reason we can't do that, of course, because of IP and their choices.
Yep. The way that this works is that the IPs are kind of siloed, so they don't mix. And that's how we designed it. And that's kind of how it works right now. I think that's all we'll say.
Yeah, that makes sense. But we do have all the tools that you can play with that are built into to the tool to UEFN that you can mix and match like we were talking about earlier with templates and stuff like that. And there's also something to be said about building your own brand, right, as well, or having a little bit of a spin of your own brand to what extent that you can. And then of course just building something with an amazing gameplay loop. So that's always very inspiring. Question. Ooh, I don't know if we know this one. Will there be RVT support coming? Would be awesome to create really dirty environments and make the ground mud blend on the mesh. Ooh, that would be cool. It's great feedback for the ability to do more of that. And I also saw some requests in here for more galleries, Walking Dead universe galleries especially too, which would be cool. If that's stuff that you want, please share it with us in our forums. Please, please, please get upvotes. Share it out to your community who wants it. Get those upvotes. Because we love to know all that you would like for tools and stuff.
Tell us which location as well. That
And
would be
tell
nice
us
to know.
and tell us if you want arrangements of the same content or new content. So I know that FNC users might really like some new prefabs of the existing content might be valuable. So let us know. Yeah, expand on that.
Is there a way or a future plan to delay the dissolve effect to let bodies pile up? So we want more immersion.
I think Skylar has successfully answered that question for now.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Does the toolset come with a specific font, or is there a font suggestion that we can use for text for the Walking Dead universe?
So we do not include like the font that the kind of brand is best known for, or like the font that you see in their logo. So you'll just want to use whatever fonts are available in Fortnite.
Thank you. And then we have one other question about verse. Are there verse hooks to do some more scripted behaviors with walkers, like ignore the player and keep wandering? Just how close or loud the player must be to get them to chase or have them chase another NPC? Oh, those are all fun ideas.
So there are modifiers that you can tweak for the behavior of the walkers. You can also, if you want, assign them a verse behavior script to really control how they move. You're going to be pretty limited if you do that because you won't be able to play, custom animations or anything. But if you do want to experiment with that, you certainly could. But probably it sounds like what you're asking for, a lot of it's going to be covered in the perception modifier of the NPC. That's where you can choose like their awareness range and stuff.
I have seen some sneak peeks of Creators Islands that kind of do exactly this. So I definitely know it's possible. An example is like they deprioritize aggro on the players, but they kind of prioritize the walker to get to a certain location or maybe destroy an object as opposed to targeting players. So there's definitely some cool stuff you can do. And another kind of more simple form of maybe just telling them to go to a location instead of just wandering is using the patrol path as well. So there are some tools for some basic configuration of walker behavior.
Great call
Yeah,
out. Yeah.
control path is something we added. It applies to other NPCs now as well, but it's something we added for the walkers because we wanted to make sure that you could do that as well. So you can assign a patrol path modifier and then have your walkers work with that, which is a pretty cool way to get them to move where you want them to.
We have some repeat questions, so I know. Can you add a healing item to stop getting infected after getting bitten by a walker? You can add healing items, but it won't stop the infection. But we did talk about how there is an option for you can be downed, but then when you get back up, the effect has stopped, right? That was one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way around it for now. If you're looking at that, just check out all the options in the tools. Then someone said, "Will the post process be fixed so it can turn on and off properly?" Where if there is an issue you're seeing, BPAT, if you're seeing any bugs or stuff, put those in the forums, or if you find it in there, search for it. There goes my fire alarm. But please upvote those things if it's something you're experiencing so that we know if it is if it's something that we really need to look into. Are there a lot of people experiencing how much is it affecting your development? Please let us know in the forums, add all that information so we can take care of it. And then someone finally was asking, walkers versus the husks, who would win? I don't know. The husks are pretty tall, and they have superpowers. I don't. Walkers are people, but
There are some big husks. There are some big,
yeah, really
very high
big.
health, high damage husks. So I think I put my money on the husks.
Yeah, me too. Okay, cool, sweet. Was there anything else that we wanted to show off, or are we pretty much in question? Oh, we were going to talk about the tools, how we're improving the tools, right, Skylar, and the
Uh,
future on
y-
that.
yeah, we talked about the walkers, but I'd love to just quickly run through the weapons.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to just showcase the hero weapons,
Yes.
because those are the other two cool things that we did here, and we'll
Fun,
probably take a couple
fun.
questions on those and what we
Yeah, if
got.
you got any questions, keep them coming. We've already answered. Oh my gosh, how many have we answered? Probably like 40 questions. Good job, everyone.
So the weapons, we made two what we're calling kind of hero weapons for the Walking Dead universe tool set. Um, you know, walkers are fun by themselves, but fighting walkers is kind of the true fantasy, and we wanted to add some really cool weapons that kind of worked well with the walkers. So we came to the conclusion of one melee, one ranged, with a bunch of kind of unique mechanics that make them kind of new and interesting and feel fresh. So weapon Dylan is holding right now is the Shiva shotgun. Fans of Walking Dead will know that Shiva is the big, beautiful kitty cat, which King Ezekiel, which is a companion of King Ezekiel, and that was the inspiration for this weapon. It has a kind of basic shotgun auto attack or basic attack, which everyone's kind of familiar with. So it's some cool kind of comic effects on it. But it has a charged attack as well. You can hold down the fire button to charge up a big explosive
Ooh.
blast. And it also roars like a tiger because that's fun. And
Yes.
going back to what I said at the very start of the stream about kind of bringing to life the Walking Dead IP, but making it feel fun in Fortnite, this is an example of how we kind of brought the two things together, but kind of leaned a little more into what makes Fortnite fun, which is explosions and awesome sound effects and just kind of like the power fantasy of wielding these amazing weapons. So this is how we got there. We just had fun with this one and wanted to add a really cool weapon to the Fortnite arsenal. And that's how the Shiva shotgun came to be. It's extremely, extremely fun to use. All super effective against walkers because they like to group up in those hordes, and then you get like huge multi kills when you fire up the charge shotgun. So definitely worth checking out.
And it has a
Oh,
flashlight, which is super cool.
yeah, and it has
Ooh.
a flashlight when you ADS, which is an extra nice touch.
Perfect
I,
for dark, spooky levels.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
yeah, I'm not sharing audio because I don't want to stomp your voice, Skylar. But when you're done, maybe I'll switch over because hearing it with the full effect is really something satisfying.
The
Yeah.
Shiva roar.
I'll quickly speak through Lucille, the melee weapon, and then we can do that at the end. So Lucille, everyone who's a fan should know Lucille. Lucille, the iconic. I don't want to spoil anything, but the very
Yeah.
very iconic weapon, maybe the
Yeah.
most iconic weapon from the Walking Dead universe, wielded by a very infamous bad guy who likes to smash things. And
Mhm.
that's where we started. And kind of this is where we ended up. Of course, got some basic attacks for quick combat against walkers. You've also got a nice overhead smash, which is inspired by one of our favorite kind of moments, and a big charge attack just for a kind of big, impactful swing, super fun lining up a couple walkers and knocking them down. Feels super satisfying to use. And yeah, this is an example of how we again wanted to bring to life the Walking Dead IP, but lean more into authenticity and really just kind of bring to life what everyone knows and loves. And we felt like it was a nice balance to kind of have something new and fresh in the Shiva shotgun, but something very familiar and iconic with Lucille. So it's a nice little compliment. Both are super effective at fighting walkers, and you should definitely consider them for if you're going to make a Walking Dead universe game.
Yes, thank you so much. We do have some questions. I'm sorry, something weird's happening in my apartment, y'all. I don't know it sounds like there's an animal crying through my walls.
The walkers, they're breaking in.
Oh
This is
my,
how it starts.
oh my God. Is it the, oh, you turned the audio on for the,
Oh, is the audio on now? Perfect.
is it on in the video? Okay, I'm not insane then. That's good. Is it on?
I don't think we have
I
audio
don't
yet.
think so.
Okay, so there's
I don't
something
think so
happening
because
in my
I'm
apartment.
I'm
think-
not sharing it.
I think I just like put that in your brain and you're like, oh my God, I'm hearing walkers now. They're
Oh
breaking
no.
in.
Yeah, it's totally in my apartment. It sounds like another alarm is going off. Okay, that's fine. Sorry if anyone can hear it, but yeah, it's chaos over here today. So I had some questions on let's see. I know I saw a question about how much they charge for that. Ask if they can make it free. This tool is free. This is UEFN. Definitely check it out. Definitely go create. Definitely play around with it. Download it. Check it out today. And then these are all free. The only difference with our IP programs is that just check out our IP programs. I can find a link really quick since I didn't have it up. And you can kind of see what is involved when you use an IP like the Walking Dead universe. But other than that, yeah, play in the tool, check it out. Everything's completely free. Um,
A couple of just clarifications. The UEFN base tool set, which has so much content, is
mhm.
all free. But these IP specific tools, which we're releasing, do have what's called a payout share. So the program kind of works in that like you are opting into this trade-off where you pay a certain percent of the revenue you make on the island to the IP holder, but you get this incredible IP specific content that you can only access if you kind of sign up. So for The Walking Dead, it's 12%. For Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it's 15%. So something to keep aware of. Definitely make sure you're aware. If you make a Walking Dead island, the payout share is 12%.
Thank you. I'm adding links to the chat too. So there's one that's all about the rules and stuff for the Walking Dead universe, and then there's also the fee schedule and brand rules for IP. But yes, to play in the tool, check it out. Everything is totally free in that way. It's just when you publish the revenue that you make, that'll be part of it. So great question. Um, will we get new Walking Dead universe weapons and items for zombies or no? How demanding. Just kidding. No, we were talking about the two that come with this. If that's something you want, I mean, please share your feedback. Share your feedback, y'all. We've gotten so much feedback today, and we only have so many humans. So, yeah, just make sure you share what you're looking for, upvote those things. Tell us what you'd love to use it with, why you're excited for certain things, and yeah, we'll get it to the team. Don't worry. There's a question, is there any plans to add a non-comic effect version? I'm assuming the answer is no because it's a brand thing, right, Skylar? Like that's specifically requested.
Uh, so the comic post-processing effect we decided to build because we wanted that option for true fans of the comic. I'm not sure I quite understand what a non-comic version is. Basically, if you don't apply a post-processing effect, it will just look like Fortnite. The
Scott, I
Fortnite
think the
assets
question
will
is
look
more
like.
like if you swing Lucille, it has a comic book aura about it. That's
That
what
makes
I think that's
sense.
what the question is
Yeah.
referring to.
Yeah. At this point, we are only planning to kind of offer those versions, but for all future changes and new content, it's kind of like ... question mark question mark question mark maybe. We'll see.
Good point. They're also asking, would it be difficult to make random melee weapons like golf clubs, terror rods, for example? Like, are they able to make, I guess, I know custom weapons and things like that are on the roadmap, but would that be something they could utilize in something like an IP island? Do we know?
I have a video I will share with you, Shane, that you can
Oh,
share with them from our official channels if you want to.
oh, I haven't seen it
It's
yet.
it's
Oh,
about it's a it's a how to make a bubble gun.
oh
And
gosh.
that's where we will leave it at right now for custom weepons until we get any of the
Wait
stuff we're
a
building in the future.
second.
But please link that in the socials. I guess I could link it too. I'll link that.
Yeah, feel free. Are they
People could take an
using it against the
example from this.
walkers? A bubble
Uh,
gun?
it's an interesting way to build things out until we get the more permanent tool sets. But you have some
Okay.
options. They're not great until we build out the real tools that we're working on for the future.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I've seen some too. I've seen some that people have been making. I'm like, how are they making that? That's not out yet, but they're finding ways. Life will find a way. So thank you for yeah, for those who are experimenting. I don't know if Jank is in here. Jank, there you are. Tom Jank is in here. Tom Jank, I'm looking at you. Referring to the weapons themselves. Oh god. Sorry if you can hear the alarm. Thank you
Yeah,
for
and
that. Let's see. Oh, and then can we toggle the flashlight on and off on the weapon yet? Is that an option? There was a question.
it turns on and off when you ADS. So I guess the answer is sort of like it is under your control. But you can't just say, I never want the flashlight on. It's going to come on when you aim down sight.
Cool. All right. I think we're caught up on most questions. The IP specific islands. Check out the Creator Island program for whoever asked that about the payout cut. The payout is that the one we're referring to is for the IP specific islands, but for more information on like how all that works, I believe there's a blog out there from quite some time ago that talks more about that. I don't know if anyone has it on hand, but I can't recall the name of it. Can you plug in UDS Ultra Dynamic Sky for night scenes or raining scenes for these? Ooh, have you seen that, Aiden?
I don't think so. We have done a lot of work on our time of day managers recently, and I know the new tool set is pretty awesome. So if you want to look into that, I think we have a demo somewhere we could try to dig up, but it's really cool, and you can do a lot of really cool stuff with our existing time of day system.
Yes, yes. And check that out. I know we're
Also,
updating
if
that.
you don't want to use time of day, if you're in UEFN, you can also just, set up your directional light and your environmental light yourself. So you have options there as well.
Yeah, so there's a few terms we have for it. There's the time of day, there's the day sequence, and then I think that we have it's very cool. We just call it lighting sometimes. So look up the guides. There's some really impressive stuff you can make in UEFN.
Well, thank you, team. Thanks for calling those out. That's super helpful. All right. Did we have anything else? We ran out of our questions. We did them all.
I think we ran through the agenda as well, so
Cool.
We
Oh,
have
pretty
a
good.
interesting opportunity that's happening
ooh.
for Walking
That's
Dead
right.
universe right now that I thought that you might want to share with everybody. That we're trying out. Go ahead, Skylar.
Yep,
Ooh.
Aiden, keeping me on track. Thank you. So we just rolled out something really, really cool, really awesome opportunity, which I don't think we've ever done before for Walking Dead Islands. It's the opportunity to take your existing non-Walking Dead island and convert it to a Walking Dead island, which is something that's been asked for, been highly requested, highly discussed amongst the community as you guys have all kind of rightfully thought, hey, I've invested all this time into making this game I'm really proud of, and maybe it has like this existing user base, but now I want to add in walkers, don't want to rebuild it. Um, so now you have that awesome opportunity to do so. We have everything explained in how it works, how you can apply, what how your island, where your island will show up and discover, all of that good stuff in a forum post, which we'll go ahead and link momentarily. But yeah, this is a really cool, it's a limited time opportunity. So this kind of window to apply is only open until May 13th, and then it will close then. So this is before the publishing hold lifts on May 16th. Um, Definitely check it out. Definitely check it out, especially if you thought like, hey, I don't have time to make a brand new island, but I've got this island I love that I want to add walkers to.
Or if
Um,
the island has always been dark vibes and now you just want to throw some walkers in and see what happens.
Mhm.
exactly, exactly.
Ooh, I'm excited to see what comes from this. Awesome. Well, that's it, I guess, for our, I guess, questions. Let's see. Yeah, I see some like, will this happen in the future? We can't share too much about the future, but if there are things that you specifically do want, please let us know. Please let us know in the forums so we can keep track of that. Oh, I do have one
Good
last
question.
question from Tom
From
Jank.
Tom.
Is a conversion reversible team? Do you all know?
Yes.
Okay.
So after May 16th, so when actually, sorry, at any time after you apply to be converted, you can also request in that same player support ticket, which is you're going to open a player support ticket. They're going to kind of talk to you and walk you through the process. In that same chat, you could say, hey, actually, I'd like to convert back. And you have up until 4 months after May 16th to request that reconversion back to a non-Walking Dead island. So totally safe to try out and swap back if that's what you'd like to do. Just want to maybe run a little experiment on your map, see how it does, or add in, maybe just add in some quote unquote seasonal IP content, like just a breath of fresh air, something to spice it up, but then kind of bring it back to non-Walking Dead theme. You can definitely do that. So this is experimental. It's limited time. We're interested in kind of feedback and all of that. So definitely check it out and let us know what you think.
Thank you. And then we got a question on, will the migration from non-IP to IP be available for future IP islands as well? I assume this was the Walking Dead universe kind of agreement, Skylar, like a Skybound one.
This conversion opportunity is specific to The Walking Dead. And like I said, it's experimental. We're kind of learning a lot about this process, how you guys feel. If you guys want it for future IPs, that's something that we would absolutely love to know. So as you either think about or go through this conversion process, definitely let us know what you think. If you'd want it for future IPs, we'd absolutely welcome the feedback, and we'll definitely read it because we're looking for that as we kind of consider that.
Thank you so much. Sorry, y'all. It's chaos in my apartment. Stop it. Just every alarming dog. Cool. All right. Well, thank you all so much. We answered so many questions. Y'all should be so proud. Pat on your back. Thank you so much for your time. And thank you. I know we had to push the date and we barely even made it here today. I barely made it. So thank you all for being here and making this an awesome stream. Thank you, community, for being here and supporting the stream and asking great questions. If you do have any questions for the team, I know they are live in the Discord. Definitely check out the Fortnite Create Discord because we do have the Skybound team in there. We have this team in there. If you do have questions and want to chat about things, there's a feedback channel, I believe, too. So definitely check it out. Chat with the team. Let them know how you're feeling. Show off your creations if you're making some fun stuff while you're mid-making them. And yeah, we can't wait to see what you all make with this. Please share your feedback. And yeah, thank you so much for your time today. And it was so great to have you. And thank you, team, for being here. Appreciate you so much. You've shared such wonderful information with everyone here. We'll be clipping it out and putting some timestamps on it. So if you missed the beginning of the stream, definitely come back and check out the VOD and see what else we talked about. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Bye, guys. Bye, community. Bye, Dan.